So today we're going to be learning about hypothermia, and the objective of this lesson is to learn how to recognize hypothermia and also how to prevent it so that we can be prepared to go sailing safely early this spring and next fall when it comes to that time. Hypothermia is a condition that occurs when you're exposed to cold for a long period of time. This happens in sailing mostly in the early spring and late fall because the water temperature starts to cool down and so does the air. Hypothermia can be life-threatening if it goes untreated. Why, if you get hypothermia, it is very vital that you get in and get warm as soon as possible. There's three main stages of hypothermia. The first one is mild hypothermia, which involves shivering, starting to lower of the body temperature, so the body temperature starts to drop, numbness of hands, and just general cooling down. So the second stage of hypothermia is moderate hypothermia. This is where the condition is starting to worsen. Loss of coordination becomes a factor at this stage. People tend to start to trip, fall if they are walking. Loss of speech starts to become a part of the loss of coordination. The worsening of the numbness of the hands and extremities becomes more of a factor. Confusion can also come into play here, along with the worsening of the shivering. So the shivering is going to become more intense and more violent. And if still untreated, this can progress into severe hypothermia, where shivering altogether stops. Confusion becomes very evident at this point. People start to be very confused, and loss of coordination becomes a much more recognizable factor. Slurred speech, essentially the body is shutting down. The body is trying to move blood flow away from less important things like your hands and feet back to things like your heart and lungs and brain to keep you alive. So now what we're going to do is you all have little cards that stays like that. You guys are all going to have cards, so I want you to think about the cards you have and where they go on this chart and why they go there. So Nani, do you have a card you want to come up and put up?
Shivering, I think, begins in mild hypothermia.
Yeah, so shivering starts as you start to get colder and start to cool down. You're going to start to shake as your body tries to start to warm you back up. Do you have another one?
Loss of coordination. So I think that begins in the moderate.
Yeah, loss of coordination starts to begin in the moderate when the symptoms start to become more severe and you start to get even colder. And the last one?
When you stop shivering altogether, I think you've reached severe.
Yeah, that's severe. That's when your body's essentially shutting down and you really need to get help to start warming you back up. Kate, do you want to come up and put some up?
Of course. My first two are numbness of hands and the worsened numbness of hands, which, if I remember correctly, you explained start with mild,
yeah,
and then as it progresses, then goes to moderate.
So the numbness of hands is going to start, the blood's going to start moving back towards your artery, more important organs in your body. And then as you get colder and the hypothermia gets more severe, it's going to worsen. Two more?
I also have confusion and then worsen confusion. And so I remember that confusion starts in moderate and then continues to progress.
Good job. Yeah, so as the blood again moves back towards the heart, confusion is going to start to occur, and then as it gets more severe, it's going to start to worsen. Andrew.
All right, I got low body temperature. I believe that starts in a mild hypothermia.
Yeah. Low body temperature is associated, basically, is how hypothermia happens. The lowering of the body temperature, and then
we have worsening shivering. So I imagine that comes after. For shivering and mild, so moderate. Then we have more loss of coordination. I believe you said that starts in severe hypothermia.
Yeah. So as the shivering progresses into moderate, it's going to get more severe until it gets to severe, where that stops altogether. And then the loss of coordination is going to begin and then get more severe as the hypothermia gets more severe. So now I want you guys to go around the room and try to find things that we could wear to help us prevent hypothermia, help us stop us from getting hypothermia, keep us warm when we go out sailing. Yeah.
This looks warm.
Yeah. So Maddie, what do you have?
I have a pair of water shoes.
Neoprene booties, yeah, those are good. Those are going to be nice and warm. They're going to help keep the water tight to you, keep your feet warm, because your body's going to heat up the water, and it's going to keep you warm. Andrew, what do you got?
I have a jacket here,
Yeah.
spray jacket.
Splash top, rain
Yeah.
jacket, that's going to be good to help keep the water off.
I got a pair of foul weather pants.
Yeah, foul weather pet and stack pants, both are going to be very good to help keep the water off you and keep you warm. Kate, what do you got?
I have a hat to keep your
And
ears
warm,
and
good,
such warm.
yeah.
And then I have looks like a half body wetsuit to go under the foul weather pants and the wind slash
Foul
rain
weather gear is good, and wetsuits are even better for dinghy sailing, especially in early spring and late fall. Okay, so now we're going to learn how to treat hypothermia. So in this bag here, I've got things that we can use to help treat hypothermia. So we're going to get one of you to pretend to have hypothermia. Which one of you want to pretend to have hypothermia? Okay, Maddie. Okay, you're going to pretend to have moderate hypothermia. So that means you're going to have slight loss of coordination, numbness in the hands and feet, some confusion, and severe shivering. And then Kate and Andrew, you guys are going to have to use what's in this bag to treat her and to warm her back up. When you're treating someone with hypothermia, it's crucial not to shock the body back into heat. You want to warm them up slowly, so that way they don't get nerve damage. If you just throw them in a hot shower right away, it can damage the nerves, and that's not good. We also want to make sure that they get out of their wet clothes, because the wet clothes are going to keep them cold and counteract what we're doing. So, Maddie, let's get you having hypothermia.
Sit down?
Sure, let's get you lying down. And Kate and Andrew can come use the stuff out of the bag to help treat her.
Well, we're gonna keep your clothes on, but I'd say
we took off all the wet clothes that we could.
Yeah.
We'll start with a towel and try and
What can we do with the towel? Yeah.
dab and dry the
dry her off a
excess
bit.
water
Get
off.
some water off her.
Maybe dry the hair a little bit as that
Try to
drips
get her
down the
dry.
back.
What do you got there, Andrew? A blanket?
Blanket, yeah. When she's
Yeah.
dry, start warming her up with the blanket.
All right.
My hands are cold.
Yeah. So she's got numbness in the hands, so she's got moderate hypothermia. What do
Okay.
you got there, Kate? Yeah.
So we can put this sweater on. We'll imagine that went on your body.
Put that, yeah. Or we can use it to wrap like you did, try to keep some heat in.
For the numbness in your hands, we can
Got
put
some mitts.
mitts on that
What else
can
you got there, Andrew?
bring
Oh, we got a
some-
hat.
Got a hat, and we got a sleeping bag. A sleeping bag can also be used as a blanket if you want. You can put them in a sleeping bag, try to warm them up. Sleeping bags are usually very good at this. Oh, that's
Got it.
got in there.
Got it.
Yeah.
Don't worry about me.
So what's another method we can use to help warm them up other than blankets and sweaters and stuff?
Body warmth.
Body warmth. Good, Kate.
Yeah.
So we can use them. We can help hug them, help keep them warm. There you go.
So I know that a good way to do that is if a dry, warm person gets in the sleeping bag with Maddie.
Yes.
That helps.
Yeah. Using
For
body
now, we'll
warmth
just
to warm her up. So
Do that and imagine
you
that you're
guys
in
can use
it.
your body warmth to warm her up. Yeah. We also had a mug. What can we use the mug for?
Hot chocolate, hot water, hot
But maybe
anything.
warm, not hot.
Yes, Maddie. Make sure that
You
it's
don't wanna
not
shock
too
the
hot, so
body.
we don't want to shock them into anything.
Warm.
It's not cold.
Yeah, not cold. We want to try to keep them warm and try to raise their body temperature. So now that we've gone over what hypothermia is, what are the symptoms of hypothermia, and what we can do to prevent it, as well as treat it, I'm going to give you guys a scenario. I want you guys to use the knowledge and the stuff we just learned about hypothermia to figure out what you would do in this scenario to help the person and to prevent scenario from happening again. So you're at the yacht club, and you're down there, you're getting your boat ready for the season. It's early May, and all of a sudden you see a rescue boat coming in. It's got 2 people on it. They were out sailing earlier that day, and they needed to be rescued. When they come in, they ask you to help them treat them for hypothermia. You recognize that they have symptoms of moderate hypothermia. However, you also notice that they were just wearing normal sailing clothes that you'd wear in the summer, so just bathing suit, life jacket, your normal water shoes. What would you guys do to treat them and to prevent this from happening again? Kate.
To prevent it from happening, again, I would advise that next time they go out in early spring, they dress more appropriately. So as we saw, like use a hat, maybe wear some gloves, wear the coat that can protect you from the water and the rain and the wind.
Okay, so appropriate clothing.
Yeah.
A wetsuit definitely is key.
Good, Andrew. So, Kate, you said hat?
Yeah.
Wetsuit?
Windbreaker.
Yep. That's good too.
Weather pants.
And neoprene booties.
Neoprene booties, good. Anything else we could have done to prevent this from happening? What about checking the weather? Could we have checked the weather?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How would you treat their hypothermia? What should you be doing to help them recover from this?
If they're just wearing like a life jacket, bathing suit, and like just water shoes, take off the wet clothes that they're wearing
Okay,
and
yeah, remove wet clothes.
start warming them up by drying them off first, and then start dressing them in warmer clothes.
So, dry them off?
Yeah.
How would you warm them up?
You could use your own body heat as well as if you have any blankets or towels on you.
Where can we find blankets? Would like a first aid kit have them?
The first aid kit sometimes have those
Emergency
reflective blankets.
If the yacht club also has showers, you can put them in the shower and warm them up by slowly turning up the temperature.
But yeah, make sure it's lukewarm.
Yeah,
So
start at a lukewarm temperature and slowly warm it up.
As well as a warm, not hot beverage to
Yeah.
help.
yeah, that's a good point too. You make, Kate. So like a warm beverage, but not hot. Is there anything else we can be doing to help them?
Just maybe put them inside out of the.
Yeah, out of the elements. Get them inside. So, you guys feel that you confidently know the symptoms of hypothermia and how you can prevent it now?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you feel like you can be prepared to go safely sailing in the spring?
Yeah.
Do we
In the
have
fall?
a sail? Yes.
Yes. That is very important fact, Kate. Alright, so the objective of this lesson was to learn how to recognize and prevent hypothermia so that we can safely go sailing, and you guys, I think, understand that now and have that concept down pat. So, good job, everyone.